Going today?
Going well, just enjoying these college games, watching my Huskies, destroy the competition.
Yep. And I think they'll destroy the next in the next round against Northwestern. Northwestern didn't show me much. Uh, Placed a team that wasn't very good. So I think we're easy Sweet 16 for this Huskies team.
Yeah, for sure.
No doubt. All right, we'll get to the business at hand here. It's the NBA for this 8-game card. We begin here with the Celtics and Pistons here. Celtics road favorites 14.5, total 223.
The Celtics are going to be one of the hardest teams to handicap going forward for the rest of this regular season. They're going to be resting guys. It's going to be a guessing game as to which guys on which day. The level of motivation I won't question because I feel like they're going for that 64-65 win level of a team. So I think they're gunning for that. They're not going to risk injury to do so, but at least the motivation's always going to be there. Now, on even in the games where they're resting a bunch of guys, if they're hitting their 3-pointers, they're still going to win, and they're still probably going to cover even these big spreads. For this game, Holiday is out. Hauser, Horford, Brown, Porzingis, and Tatum were all questionable. Fontecchio is going to be out for Detroit, which is a big piece of their team. This game comes down to a couple things for me. First off, who plays, but more importantly, it's going to be how well does a guy like Peyton Pritchard shoot the ball? Because if they're shooting lights out, like I said, they're still going to win and cover regardless of who's in. If I had to guess, and I know it's getting close to game time, so maybe this stuff is becoming more clear, but if I had to guess, they'd probably be sitting Horford, he's 37, and probably alternate him and Porzingis in the games where they're going to be sitting one of those guys. And then they're probably going to at least play Tatum or Brown, maybe both. But the other guys will probably end up sitting. They've been resting players for a while now, and they're still 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games. The thing about this is I'd regret not taking Boston in this spot and having them win by 25 more than if I didn't take them and Detroit ended up sneaking in the back door and covering. So I really just got to lay it with the Celtics here and just live with the results.
All right, Joe Schultz get his best bets at TonySpace.com. Celtics and Pistons. He likes here the Celtics here laying the 14.5. All right, let's continue here on our NBA rundown for Friday's game. 8-game card here. Another big line here. Thunder and Raptors. Thunder now up to 17. Total 230.
Yeah, it's similar handicap for this game. It's another game between teams headed in opposite directions. The Thunder are 7-3 in their last 10, and tied for the number 1 spot with the Nuggets in the West. Toronto's just 1-9 straight up and 2-8 against the spread in their last 10. They haven't won, or I'm sorry, they'll still be without Jakob Poeltl, obviously, and Scotty Barnes, but now RJ Barrett is still dealing with what he's dealing with, and they'll also be without Emmanuel quickly. And I saw earlier this afternoon that Gary Trent popped up questionable. This isn't the best scheduling spots for the Thunder. They are coming from the altitude in Utah into Toronto with just one day of rest. They also have a tough stretch of opponents in their next few games. The Pelicans, the Bucks, and the Knicks all up next. But that's not nearly enough for me to back a depleted Raptors team against a young and hungry, healthy Thunder team. It's the Thunder or nothing for me. I think the Thunder have been winning but not covering. So they're 7-3 straight up, but just 2-8 against the spread in their last 10. So if I was betting this game, what I would do is take the Thunder on the spread, but limit it to the first half.
All right, Joseph, let's get his best bets at TonySpace.com. Find the link in the description. Thunder and Raptors here. Looks at Thunder here. A first half play here from Joseph. All right, let's continue here on our NBA rundown. We'll get to the next game here. Cavaliers and Timberwolves. Timberwolves laying 7.5, total 207.
Both of these teams are beat up. Gobert is out. Naz Reid is questionable. Anthony Edwards is even questionable, but he already played with that dislocated finger, and they're fighting for that 1 seed still, so I think he plays. We already know the Cavs will be without Mitchell, Mobley, Strauss, and Wade. The Cavs have been inconsistent as well, alternating wins and losses in their last 5 games, going 5-5 against the spread, and 4-6 straight up in their last 10 games. Minnesota has also been mediocre. They're just 5-5 straight up and against the spread in their last 10 games. They have been better in their more recent games, 4-1 straight up and 4-0 against the spread in their last 5. They're coming off a great game as 7.5-point underdogs to the Nuggets, where they had no Gobert or Naz Reid. They trailed by as many as 21 points. They fought hard to pull this game within 1 in the final minute. They weren't able to pull off the outright win, but they looked really good. As good as they looked, though, I do wonder if that'll create a little bit of a letdown spot after such a big effort. 7.5 is a little too much for me to lay, especially without knowing if Gobert or Naz Reid plays. Minnesota is 0-6 laying points at home the last 6 times they've been favorites at home. So I lean towards the Cavaliers plus the points.
All right, Joe, the Schultz find his premium plays over at TonySpace.com. Use that promo code TonyT at checkout. We'll save you 20% off. Top being the producer the past 2 years here on our site. Cavaliers and Timberwolves. Play will be Cavaliers here plus the 7.5. All right, let's continue on here on our NBA rundown. Grizzlies and Spurs. Spurs 6.5. Total sits at 216.5.
Memphis has had a nice little stretch here, going 3-1 against the spread before that blowout loss to the Warriors. They finally got Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. healthy and back into the lineup together. Now they're back to putting together a G League type lineup. Bane will be out, Luke Kennard, Vince Williams, Scottie Pippen Jr. as well. They have a few more guys questionable too, so it wouldn't shock me either if they rested Jaren Jackson Jr. last minute. And that's not anything that I know for sure. It just wouldn't surprise me. The Spurs are relatively healthy, and it looks like they'll be getting Zach Collins back after he missed the last game versus the Dallas Mavericks. The Spurs are 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games, and they've covered in 3 out of their last 4 games. I'm not super comfortable laying this amount of points with a bad Spurs team overall, but it's also not enough to back. It's also not enough of a number to back a really bad Grizzlies team, especially if Jaren Jackson Jr. doesn't play. I would completely avoid this game, but I do lean towards the Spurs, again, if Jaren Jackson Jr. doesn't play.
All right, just let's get his premium plays at TonySpace.com. Grizzlies and Spurs. Look here at the Spurs here, laying the 6.5. All right, let's continue here on our NBA rundown. Next game up will be Pelicans and Heat. Heat laying 3 here, total 208.
Now, to me, this would be the best NBA game to watch of the night. This line opened up at Heat -1, and it was bet to Heat -3 when people saw that Ingram he got hurt last game. He's officially listed as doubtful, but I don't think they're going to risk playing him in this spot. Duncan Robinson is out, and Bam Adebayo is questionable for the Heat. The last time these two teams played, they had a little scuffle. Jimmy Butler and I believe Najee Marshall, if I'm remembering correctly, they got into it. Jimmy Butler's after his post-game comments were basically he pretty much guaranteed that they would win the next time that they saw them. The Heat have owned the Pelicans. They've won 7 straight against them and 9 out of the last 10. This will also be the Pelicans' second game of a back-to-back, 3rd game in 4 nights, and 4th game in 6 nights. The Pelicans are coming off an ugly loss to the Magic, and I can't help to think that maybe they were looking ahead to this game a little bit, especially after what happened last time. The only thing that worries me about leaning to the Heat is that this will be their first home game after 4 straight on the road. Miami is 0-6 against the spread. The last 6 the last 6 times that they were on the road and then they were having their first home game. They've lost 6 straight against the spread in that situation. This should be a really good game. I can make an argument for both sides, but I'm not stepping in front of a highly motivated Jimmy Butler at home with the rest advantage and the Pelicans missing one of their best players. So I lean towards the Heat in this spot.
All right, Joseph Schultz here. Top unit producer at TonySpeaks.com says the Heat here laying the 3. All right, let's continue here on our NBA rundown for the Friday games here. Pacers at Warriors. Warriors up to 5 now, total 239.5.
Both of these teams have been inconsistent recently. Both have alternated wins and losses straight up and against the spread in their last 5 games. The Warriors haven't won consecutive games in 10 straight. Pascal Siakam should continue to play really well against the Warriors team that struggles to limit points in the paint and lacks size. Now, the Warriors did blow the Pacers out in their last game. They won by 22 on the road, playing in their 5th game in 7 nights. So even in a terrible spot, they were able to have a good game against the Pacers. Now, the Pacers could be looking ahead towards the Lakers, trying to get revenge for that in-season tournament loss. The Warriors have shown that they, like I said, can have success in a bad spot against the Pacers. But now they're rested, playing their 3rd straight home game. If Halliburton continues to struggle with his shooting, the Warriors should get the win and a cover. I lean to the Warriors.
All right, Joseph Schultz, get his best bets over at TonySpeaks.com. Pacers and Warriors. Play here will be the Warriors here, laying the 5. All right, let's continue here. The next game here on our schedule here will be Clippers and Trailblazers again. We see Clippers 14 on the road, total 216.
Another huge spread. The Clippers dominated the last time these two teams played. They only won by 13 as 12-point favorites, but the game wasn't nearly as close as that final score made it look. The Clippers led the game by 26 in the 4th quarter. They pulled their starters at the end of the game, and the Trailblazers outscored them by a bunch of points in the 4th quarter. I think like 13 points. It made the score look pretty close. I can see a very similar game between these two and a similar outcome. So Ayton is questionable for this game. Norman Powell is also questionable for the Clippers. So is Terrence Mann. I don't have a lot for this game. If you're betting it, I see no other way than to look at laying the points with the Clippers, and you probably end up sweating out a very close cover. I think this game provides a really good opportunity to live bet. I think the Clippers get up big, and if they do so, I think the 4th quarter will have a nice opportunity to live bet the Blazers and hope for a similar outcome as last time. For the whole game, I lean towards the Clippers with a nice live betting opportunity in the 4th quarter on the Blazers.
There you go. Just get his premium plays at TonySpeaks.com. Find the link to his page right in the description. Clippers, Trailblazers, like I said, Clippers here, laying the 14. Keep an eye on that live betting. All right, let's continue here on our NBA rundown as we move here to the final game on this 8-game card Friday. 76ers Lakers. Lakers 7.5 total, 225.
Yeah, another tough one for me. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers end up covering in this game. Philly has owned this matchup, though. They've won each of their last 5 and 9 out of the last 10 in between these two teams. Philly won by 44 in Philly the last time they played. So it is definitely a major revenge spot for the Lakers. Now, Philly doesn't have too many bigs. They moved Mo Bamba into the starting lineup, which has worked out well for them. But I could really just see Anthony Davis beasting in this game. The Lakers will be well rested. They had a couple days off. I like the Lakers in a revenge spot. It'll also be their 3rd straight home game, so it's a nice little Lakers spot here.
All right, Joseph Schultz here in this one. Lakers and 76ers. Likes the Lakers here, minus the 7.5. All right, Joseph, let's take a look over at TonySpeaks.com here for this Friday card. NBA on the board, 8 games. We're getting ready here for the night sessions here, top of the hour. maybe about an hour and a half away from actually we're about it's 9:40 Eastern. We're about an hour and a half away from the night sessions of the NCAA tournament here for Friday. So still 8 games on the board here from college hoops, as well as action here in the NBA. As you can see here, Joseph's been on a tear right now. 5,445 minutes of profit, 2023 and 2024, all documented. You can verify that by clicking the link in the description. Go to Joseph's handicapper page. What do you have going on over at Tony's Picks?
I've got my favorite NBA play already up. I'm waiting for one of those numbers to move a little more, and I'll be going in on that one as well. I like one of the later college games on the board too, so that'll make a nice little 3-pack for today. Looking to sweep the board today. And, as well, like we keep mentioning, baseball's coming. The Sweet 16 will be here sooner than you know it. I'm watching all these games, the games that I'm not able to catch. I'm watching them, afterwards, and just getting a nice feel for all the teams that are still left in the tournament. Should have some really sharp bets for the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, Final Four, and like I said, baseball coming up. It's a good time to grab a long-term package. We got the 3-day, the weekly, month packages, and for people that are going to be doing this long-term, you could grab the whole year.
That's right, guys. You got to go to Joseph over at Tony'sPicks.com. You see the great results here the past 2 years. 5,445 units of profit, so get on board with Joseph. When you click the link in the description, you'll land right here on his handicapper page. There you can verify all Joseph's records here. He's been outstanding here the nearly 15 months that he's been documented over at Tony'sPicks.com. You can see 2023 and the 2024 results there. Also, if you start scrolling down, you'll be able to see the packages available here that he has for sale. The long-term pass is the way to go. The 3-7-30 all sports pass. You get all of his pre and plays for that time period to select. When you go to his handicapper page, make that purchase. We're going to save you some money when you use that promo code TonyT at checkout. You can access Joseph's page. Just click the link in the description and you'll land right there. All right, Joseph, as always, great having you show. Continue that great success, and we'll catch up with you for tomorrow's games.
All right. Thank you.
You got it. For Joseph.